I may have found and beaten the easiest Extreme Demon in all of Geometry Dash, and it's a good one. Mystic Bounds is a beginner Extreme Demon that was released a little over a year ago, and it is outrageously good in all qualities. Not only is it one of the easiest Extreme Demons in the game, but this may be one of the best Extreme Demons of all time. I beat this roughly a month ago, and it was one of the best decisions I've made all year. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my experience with Mystic Bounds. I beat this, like I said, a month ago, and this will be a review for Mystic Bounds because it's deserving of one. It's a great level, and I'll go into more detail about every single part of the level later in this video, along with the completion towards the end. If you like this type of content, and you want to see more, you can hit the subscribe button down below with the like as well, liking and subscribing. So I'm going to go through each part very briefly so we can get through this as fast as we can and get into the completion towards the end of the video. So to start off the level, we have this relatively free part with a few double clicks here and there, and it's just, in my opinion, a great start for a great level, so nothing really much to say here. This next part actually is a bit questionable for me. The spider with the slopes can be very tedious, and sometimes you see yourself dying here pretty stupidly for a decently long period of time. Other than that, everything is fine and rather consistent. I love the orb section within this part, within the cube gameplay. It's a very satisfying thing to do, and even though it takes no skill at all to do, I find it very enjoyable every single time I get to this part, and it's just a very fun twist to have in a very long level like this. It's very innovative gameplay because you don't want the gameplay to be getting super stale, especially whenever you're in a 5-minute long level. So this is a great way to twist the gameplay into a direction that is always constantly fun. This next part is one of my favorite parts of the level. This is where the music starts to get groovy and the decoration is, totally just off the charts. The gameplay has a lot of inputs that create satisfaction despite being pretty easy. Towards the end, you also get satisfaction from music sync that comes from the effects and movements of the gameplay. It's really impressive stuff. This part is peak UFO and ship gameplay given the difficulty that the level is trying to go for. This part is very satisfying, and it's a very easy section that has not only great decoration, but great creative music sync just like the last part. And yeah, this part is just so fun to go through despite being really easy. And 33 to 40%, this is probably the most creative section of the entire level. While the gameplay is relatively simple, the pauses that go with the music creates a very unique experience and keeps you on your toes when you're playing this part. Because you have to understand the timing out of the pause, because there's always an input after each pause. And there's a lot of inputs, and what you're going to see throughout this level, and I'm going to talk about this later, is that this level has a lot of inputs, and if you mess an input up, it could lead you to fail and die to another easy click that's right after. This part is another questionable one for me. While I do think this is probably my favorite part when it comes to the design and decoration, this part requires a ton of inputs that require a little bit of control, and I found it really easy to die here from zero, which was frustrating given the fact that you are around 2 minutes and 15 seconds into the level as of right now. While this is mostly a skill issue for me, it's still something that should be touched on given my experience that I've had. Dying here happened way too often. This is the first duel of the level, and it's incredibly fun to pull off. This sync is off the charts, and it's also pretty easy as well. From zero, I had a few deaths here and there at this part, but nothing that got too out of hand or inconsistent, which is incredibly crucial to the level's enjoyment for sure. Kind of like the part 2 parts ago, this part requires a ton of inputs that create the possibility of losing control, which can happen pretty often if you're caught off guard. You have to be paying attention throughout this entire part in order not to stupidly die. Because at the end of the day, it's just hard demon gameplay, but in 5 minutes of length. It's how long you can do hard demon gameplay for. It's just consistency, and that's really the skill set the level is trying to preach. This is my favorite part. The gameplay and music sync with the movements is just polished to perfection. Also, the intensity of the part is also just a mesmerizing experience to go through. This is also something you'll hear from me in the next part. The decoration is chaotic, but not messy, which creates a visually appealing experience while remaining chill enough for the gameplay to be visible and not clustered at all. I'm glad to represent this as my favorite part of the level. It really doesn't get much better than this when it comes to just, a singular part in Geometry Dash. Now, following after, this is my second favorite part. The intensity of this part is something that I have only ever felt in a few levels in this game. And it feels great, but also challenging and nerve-wracking all at the same time. The decoration is really good at this part. It's very clean looking and just adds to the suspense and intensity that the level's trying to go for. The duel is not inconsistent at all, and it's probably one of the most fun duels I've ever played. Next up, we have a pretty simple part with very simple gameplay. Also has the element of the pausing to go with the music, but this time it's a little bit easier and less inputs. The effects and decoration are great here, like always, and nothing really much more to say. Finally, at the last part, it does a great job of creating a suspenseful part along with keeping it fair and not too overly complicated. Even though I did die at 97, I take complete accountability for it. That was just me being dumb and incompetent of the video game, so I have no complaints here. Just a really nice way to end off this beautiful level. To summarize, Mystic Bounds is just a phenomenal level. It's actually my second highest rated enjoyment level of all time, with a 97 out of 100, which I think 100 is actually just complete perfection. I don't know if anything's going to get 100, but 97 out of 100, that's tough to beat. There are little to no inconsistencies throughout the entire level, which is huge given the fact that it's 5 minutes long. You just don't want to have random choke points, everywhere. I think this level does a great job trying to be balanced and fun at the same time. It's certainly a masterpiece, and it may actually not be an Extreme Demon. I found this level pretty easy, as it is my new lowest attempt count I've ever had on any Extreme Demon. So I would recommend this as your first ever Extreme Demon for those looking for it. Now we're going to move on to the completion, so that will be all you'll be hearing from me today. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, JYT signing out. Stay safe, and see ya. gosh. That was either 1 or 2 attempts after I got 90, bro. Never had an attempt feel so right. Oh my gosh. I just knew it was the one. Like, I just felt so confident. I don't know. What a level, man. That was a weird experience, but a good experience. I've never beaten a level that long. As it says in the top right, 5 minutes and 12 seconds. His level is so long. Got it done though, in pretty quick fashion too. It's going to be a low attempt count just because this level is far from being attempt grindy. But it did take 3 days to complete. First day I was learning, second day I got like 60 something %. Today I finally beat it, so. There we go. It's done. Mystic Bounds is done. That wasn't all of the attempt count. I have a start pause copy. It's 1.1k. And then this, we have 461. That is another new record attempt count, 1,633. Now, when it comes to ranking this, I have no idea what it is. I definitely think it's Extreme Demon, but compared to the rest of the easy Extreme Demons I've beat, it's going to be really hard to rank. So, yeah.